What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Colin Weissong, and we are back for another edition of Your Impact Attack. Yes, I said Your Impact Attack on channelattitude.com. That's the only place we're going to scratch the Podbean stuff. We're not talking about Podbean anymore. Just go to channelattitude.com and get all of your needs for Hameen Media Group and Russo's brand, but more so Hameen Media Group. We pay for our channel and everything first. But you're listening to the free review of the Impact Attack, where we review Impact Wrestling each and every week. And I am not alone because I couldn't handle reviewing all of this Impact Wrestling by myself. I had to get help. I had to go to the 17-time reigning, defending, I declare Thumb War champion, the vet, ladies and gentlemen. Vet.
Oh, hello there. I apparently wrestle thumbs.
It's better than wrestling blow-up dolls, right?
I think so. It's a little more prestigious.
Or kids.
Yeah, or kids. Or invisible people.
What about keyboard warriors?
You wouldn't want to wrestle them.
They might hit you with the keyboard.
Yeah.
They want to wrestle you.
Little New Jack style.
Adrian Fraser with the vet.
Adrian in the house.
Thank you for showing up.
Great friend, Adrian.
1 a.m. East Coast time. All right.
Yeah, who has time for sleep when you could listen to Impact Wrestling reviews?
Exactly. We had a fun episode of Impact Wrestling for you to review, and of course, we're never alone, Vet. We're never alone, unless the man oversleeps. But that's okay. We still love him anyways. Ladies and gentlemen, where was Brandon last week? But guess what? You don't have to worry about that. He's here now.
It's amazing.
Need you
the
to,
haze
breathe.
is gone, but he's still.
Can you just breathe on your lens real quick, just to give everyone a retro, there you go. Give it some hot breath, cover it up in some condensation. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as just said, that is Brandon. Brandon, tell everybody what's up.
What is up?
Perfect. Did you guys need to do anything fun this weekend?
Fun?
Nope. Okay, let's go ahead and hop right into this Impact Wrestling that we got tonight. Nothing. Non-smoky Brandon. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and hit up the chat before we start. We've got Lizbeth, first one here. Lizbeth, what's up, Lizbeth? Let's see. We've got Buckshot Kid, Lab Rat. I wonder what they're testing on him tonight. What do you think? What do you guys think? What do you think they're testing on Lab Rat tonight?
His patience.
Patience. What do you think? I think that we test that on you every night. And Brandon, what do you think Lab Rat's being tested?
Monkeypox vaccine.
Monkeypox. I like that. That's a good one. Monkeypox vaccine. I like it. We've got Adrian Fraser. We already acknowledged him. We acknowledged Adrian Fraser.
Sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
Next person that we have in chat. Javi Uchiha. I don't have ding 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 ching ching ding 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 to fade back in. Sorry, I don't have that. And that's it. That's it for everybody. Adrian Fraser says he's dedicated, no sleep. Insomnia for the win. Yes, Liz, that's all of us. It feels really odd without the haze. Brandon, they missed the haze. We told you. I told you in a freaking DM, don't ever change your camera. That's the gimmick for the show, and you ruined it. I don't have a you ruined it. I need a you ruined it. You're going to get, you know what? You're going to get a we have nothing in common.
We have nothing in common.
And I hit that very violently when I did that just there. All right, guys.
Well, technically, I didn't change the camera. I just saw something and blew into the lens.
Then you shouldn't have said it.
You get the Tony Khan. Just fingerprint it up. Do something. Get the haze back. We missed
What's
the haze.
amazing is he still has the slow motion powers even without the haze, right?
Maybe,
it's
maybe,
like,
yeah,
What's-
maybe they
what's slow
found out the
motion?
haze was carcinogenic, and they got rid of it. It could be something.
yeah, perhaps. All right,
You are our tribal chief, Adrian.
sorry.
You are our
Adrian's
tribal
the
chief.
tribal chief.
For tonight, you are the special tribal chief of
Yes,
the
yes, my
Impact
tribal chief.
Attack. The special tribal chief, and we're about to get started here into this Impact Wrestling review. Let's see. I've got my notes.
He's got notes, people.
I went to redneckswrestlingreview.com and I got my notes from the Wrestling Redneck himself. So this is going to be a fun read tonight. Do you want me to like try to do an impression of the Wrestling Redneck?
I mean, if you can, because some of the listeners may not be familiar with.
Okay, well, if you've never heard of the Wrestling Redneck, I can do an okay impression of him, I guess. I don't really know, but we'll try. I'll read my notes as him. Have you ever listened to anything with him on it? He's really rednecky sounding.
I'm going to be one of those listeners that is not familiar, so
Oh, okay, so I'm gonna try to do his voice for you guys. All right. So we had Laredo Kid and Mike Bailey kick things off. Laredo Kid with the jobber entrance, so we know what's gonna happen there.
Wrestling Redneck sounds a lot like Colin.
No, that's me. This is Colin. This is
Oh.
me talking.
You're Colin.
This is me doing the impression of Wrestling Redneck.
I'm just saying I couldn't really tell. I thought you were just reading
Mike
normally.
Bailey over in 2 weeks now. We got pins with people's limbs under the ropes. Fun little 10-minute cruiserweight match as Bailey's earns his way to the Ultimate X match. So, Vet, it looks like he's saying here that Mike Bailey pinned the guy with his limbs under the ropes. So it looks like 2 weeks in a row. I think Redneck might listen to the show because we talked about this last week. 2 weeks
Definitely.
now, they're pinning people with limbs under the ropes. What is going on here, Impact Wrestling?
Well, they should know better than that. I mean, but look, if you see something like that, you could turn that into an angle for somebody. You could say, "Hey, man, he was out of bounds. Like that pin shouldn't count. I should still be able to qualify for the X match." But I don't think they're probably going to do that.
Maybe if he got a real entrance and not the jobber entrance, Scott D'Amore would listen to that.
Probably. Yeah, I was gonna say this before I answered your question, but Liz just brought it up. Like what it is, I realize what it is. It sounds like when you do a Heath Slater impression.
No, he's more like, hey, man. Hey, I got kids. I got kids.
Isn't
I got
that just
kids, man?
Isn't that just the wrestling redneck trying to be quiet? Like
No,
he's not trying.
that's-
He's trying not to wake somebody
I
up.
got kids, man. No, he Wrestling Redneck, he always talk like this. Hey, man.
Even
little
when he's being quiet.
Even when he's being quiet. Yeah, he's still kind of loud. We got Pierce Austin. Vet, let's hear your Australian accent. I want to hear you say Pierce Austin.
P.S. Austin.
There you go. Thank
So
you.
pretty.
Acknowledge him.
Boy.
So Brandon, your thoughts on this this first match? I enjoyed this little. I felt like this was a fun little cruiserweight match here with these guys. Mike Bailey actually wrestling someone his size. Laredo Kid and him had a fun little match. They kept up the pace pretty much the whole entire time. Your thoughts, Brandon?
I came into this expecting your typical X Division spot fest, but there was actually like moments of psychology. There was attempts to actually like win the match instead of just, all right, we're going to do moves to each other, take turns, and then one of us is going over. It actually felt like somebody was trying to win. It felt like an actual competition, like they were convincing you that there was stakes and there was a purpose to winning.
And before we go to the vet, I will say I thought I was going to see like a typical cruiserweight match, like you said. And I was actually surprised I saw something I'd never seen before, and that came from Laredo Kid. It was when he got him in the handstand, and he had his legs wrapped around his head. And then when he slammed him down, he was like in that arm lock. I don't know if he's ever done that before in a move, but I've never seen someone from that the handstand position take a guy down and roll into like an arm lock where he's now almost in like a, not necessarily a STF position, but it's more like where Daniel Bryan hooks the leg around hooks the arm around the leg, but he doesn't grab the chin lock. He's just kind of putting that pressure on the shoulder. I've never actually seen that before. So it was kind of nice getting to see something in a cruiserweight match that I've never seen before. Vet, your thoughts on this 5-star classic?
I mean, it was all right. The thing I'm more concerned about is Laredo Kid. I can't recall him ever winning a match. Certainly not a match of any significance.
I think when you and I first started doing Impact, he won like 1 or 2 matches, and I think that was like it. Now he's just jobber guy.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's necessarily the right spot for Laredo Kid, because we can see on this show later on they have a spot for the jobber guy, So I think Laredo Kid should be featured a little bit more, or at least if it comes to like qualifying matches like this, we have to have him get some wins over somebody so that we even think he has a chance of qualifying.
Or reason of being even in the match.
Right. I mean, exactly. So I just, that would just be my one thing is like, and I'm not necessarily like a big Laredo Kid supporter. Like I'm not waving the flag for him or anything, but just going by looking back, in retrospect of how I've seen Laredo Kid used on the show, it's like if you're going to bother to keep using him, maybe make him feel a little bit more important. I mean, he is a guest here, It's like if you invite somebody over and you bring out the stale crackers and the expired, sodas and just like, yeah, here, whatever, just serve yourself. I gotta do something.
What do you think Impact's doing to Frankie, bringing him in to face Chris Sabin? You're just feeding him to Goldberg.
Yeah, but at least that's on a pay-per-view.
That's true. That's true.
So
but you're getting stale crackers at the pay-per-view.
It's too late at that point.
Damn it. 20-year-old stale crackers. They were there from the time when Impact first started. They still have Hogan stench on them way back.
We call those Impact trading cards.
With a piece of cracker inside.
Yeah.
Stale cracker.
Or maybe the crackers are so old they smell like sex.
Ew.
But you don't get to go to Overchurch. Do you think they're bringing Overchurch back to the 20th anniversary of Impact Wrestling? Vet, do you know what Overchurch is?
No.
So they used to have church services at Impact Wrestling, and Dixie Carter and like a bunch of the boys would like do church, right? And Stevie tried to go, and they were like, "Yeah, you can't come to the church service." So Stevie makes the joke that there's an Overchurch, and Stevie wasn't over in Impact, so he wasn't allowed to go to the church services.
Wow.
They're so shit, dude. Dixie Carter's such a bitch.
I wonder if Sting said something to her later, because he said like Sting was kind of like, "Wait, what the fuck?" Like the look on his face was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, Sting probably wouldn't have been down for that either. If Sting would have heard that, he would probably been like, "Yo, Dixie, what the fuck?"
I mean, not enough to go smooth things over with Stevie and let him in next time.
Back in, right? Yeah, Stevie probably already like left or whatever. Dude, Stevie's got the worst luck. The Church of Satan got him kicked off of the Starrcade, the first Starrcade. Stevie was supposed to be there, and the Church of Satan like tweeted at him, and he said something, and then somebody went to Conrad and was like, "Can you believe Stevie Richards does something with the Church of Satan?" And then they removed Stevie Richards from fucking from Starrcast.
Conrad ought to know better than that.
ECW legend getting taken down by Satan.
Well.
Oh, well. Anything else on this match that you want to talk about, Vet?
No, sir.
All right. Backstage with Asuton.
No, this isn't backstage, Colin.
We are backstage at New Japan. So, ha, we are backstage. Take that, L, Vet. Live on air.
I'm used to it.
I'm done for the show. Let's go. I don't need to do it anymore. We got the Vet to get wrong. That's what I've been here for the whole entire time.
He's off. He's gone. He's gone. He walked out. Colin walked out. He took his ball and went home.
He's our Sasha and Bailey.
Yeah. As we wait for him to figure out how microphones work, probably unplugged it in a fit of rage.
I hit a button that muted. I hit a button that muted me that I don't normally hit on my.
Was it a mute
thing.
button?
I don't know if it is or not. It's I don't know if this thing has a mute button. All right.
All
Well,
Well, welcome back, Naomi.
Asu Austin, in New Japan, cutting a promo. He's very confident that he's going to win the Best of Super Juniors vet. You're the only one on earth that watches New Japan. What are your thoughts on his odds?
Yeah, it was very disappointing. Yeah, being the only person on earth that watches, like when I watch the events, like absolutely nobody in the audience.
They pay those
like there's
people.
one guy in the back like sweeping up, but he's not watching. He's got his back to the whole event, so these guys are just taking bumps and just there's nobody watching. But I will say that it's funny to me that they're making it seem as if this Impact Wrestling is like a live episode because Ace is reacting directly to Mike Bailey qualifying for the match. It's like he was just watching on TV in Japan and just like, congratulations, Mike Bailey, for qualifying. Like, all right, come on, guys.
Well,
It's
it
like,
does say in Redneck's notes that Austin is live from Japan. So I think that was like a feed, like they zoomed him in or something like that. Maybe they StreamYarded him in from backstage.
to the taping, whenever this was taped. Had to make sure.
They
Points for
pre-taped-
trying.
They
Points for
pre-taped the
trying.
pre-tape.
Right. Well, it's funny. The reason I've mentioned that is because, like, when I explain things in terms of, these type of logistics and stuff, and I try to explain, like, if this were real or whatever, some people in the chat, I won't name any names, not here, but, like, let's say other shows I might do in the live chat, there's people that are, like, kind of like hecklers almost, like they're constantly talking shit about everything that comes out of my mouth, whatever, and
I
they'll
wish Big Ray would stop doing that.
I know, right? I'm telling you, it's very unprofessional as the host, but in the chat specifically, I'm talking about, and then I'll say something like that, and they'll be like, "Yeah, sure, it's really live, vet. Yeah, it's live." I'm like, I'm talking about NXT, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, look, they're pretending it is, motherfucker." And that's what they're exactly doing here when everybody knows, like it's not even a poorly kept secret that Impact is tapes like 4 episodes at a time, so to have them actually go out of their way to make it seem like things are happening in real time here, it just makes me laugh. And it makes me think of those people that think I really think that all wrestling is live and happening in the moment, like as we're seeing it. But anyway,
People.
just like whenever you listen to this, Channel Attitude or whatever, whenever you guys are listening to it, it doesn't matter what day it is, we're live. We have to go live and do a live show every single time you feel like listening to this. So that means if you go back and listen to this again after you're done with it,
It's a
it's going to
brand
be
new
a
live
totally
show.
different episode.
Different show.
Right.
Bro, I'm
Do you
not even
realize
gonna
how
be
stressful that is?
Here. Be a different host. It'll be Jargo.
Right.
Now we repeat these shows verbatim, same cadence and tone, everything.
Make sure I wear the same thing, look the same, do the same exact motions and everything. You don't know how hard it is for me to have to go back and rewatch each episode every night to know what I did perfectly. No, we're not filming in Cincinnati. I'm in North Carolina. Brandon's in St. Louis and Vet's in California. I don't know what Liz is talking about in the chat, guys.
We're as far away
Anything
from
else on
Cincinnati as-
Ace Austin's promo?
Yes. On Ace Austin's promo, Javi Uchiha says, "Man, that Light the Fuse episode with Ray was brutal."
I didn't watch it.
It was weird that Ace Austin said that too. I was like, why is he naming Javi?
He was watching.
And
Was he backstage?
Doing
in
a
New
quote
Japan?
from the future. Yeah. Well, because
It was
Ace Austin is getting the live. He's on YouTube right now. He's lurking. He's not going to let us know
True.
that he's here. But yeah.
Hey Ace,
Rooting for you, buddy.
tell Madman Fulton, wish him the best of luck in his recovery.
Quick best of Super Juniors update though. Ace Austin is 2-1 right now. The one loss comes to Hiromu Takahashi,
Of course.
the obvious eventual winner of this.
How good was that match?
Not bad. It's pretty good, but it wasn't the main event, so they didn't have the time that
Do
maybe
you think
they
it would have
could
been
had a
better
great
if you
match.
give him like another 10 or 15 minutes?
Maybe not 10, but maybe 5. But anyway, it was a good match. But yeah. So, but Ace is kind of like he's playing up a little bit of a sportsman-like character. Like he was gracious in losing, and he's kind of like I think he's like having the attitude, but towing the line of being like a respectful babyface for now. So we'll see if that changes by the end of the tournament or whatever.
I could see them turning babyface now that they don't have Fulton and he had this kind of push in New Japan. I could see them maybe doing a double turn somehow in this Ultimate X match that comes up where maybe Speedball maybe becomes the villain and Ace Austin, becomes the good guy in a sense. Maybe. We'll see.
You can do that with Japan because there are times like you can have like those bad guys who shit all over everything, but there's that one thing though that like, okay, I'm not crossing that line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
well, we'll see what he does. I'll keep you guys updated.
Appreciate you. We appreciate that. All right, so we've got Cardona and Green live from the Maldives. That's all he wrote.
Oh, that's all I wrote. They
so,
just
yeah.
they
Wow,
sent
are
in a
you
video
wrestling
from the
Redneck?
beach. No.
Are you sure? You had the
Yes.
same notes as him.
Well, my notes didn't have an accent, so.
Oh, okay. What about you, Brandon? Did your notes say the same thing?
I was just too busy being jealous of Chelsea.
Oh man.
It's true.
Or are you jealous of Matt Cardona? He's always ready, you know.
Always ready. He's got an awesome collection of toys for you to play with when you're done. These guys were on a boat, maybe somewhere out on the water
I'm
on their
a
honeymoon. I'm on a boat, bitch. In the Maldives, talking a lot of shit about everyone, especially Rich Swann. How can you be digital media champion, Vet, if you don't have social media?
Can't.
You can't. So
Wait, Rich Swann doesn't have social media?
He doesn't have a Twitter.
Rich Swann doesn't have a Twitter?
I don't think so. That's what Cardona said in the promo.
Huh.
They're like, he doesn't even have a Twitter. How can you be digital media champion if you don't have a Twitter?
Well, there are other forms of so he could have an Instagram or
He's probably got like he's on Truth Social.
right,
Rich Swan, what if Rich Swan's on Truth?
yeah, exactly.
He's on Getter.
That would get her. Yeah, that would be funny. Rockfin or Rumble or something like that. Let's see. Thoughts on their promo, because we kind of got a double promo. Chelsea got to cut her promo on the women's division, and Matt got to cut his promo on Rich Swann.
Right. I mean, it was good. What you know what this was that was great? It wasn't in front of a wall with fucking shitty jabroni lights shining up on it. That's what it wasn't. So
It was actually on location.
It was
Right.
that shitty jabroni son.
yeah. But but even so, like, even if it wasn't the Maldives, maybe he just said he was in the Maldives and he was just in his backyard or something. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just, it looks good enough. So,
It was enough to sell. It was enough to convince you.
right. And to add some variety and location to the show. Quick update on NWA. They're coming up on a pay-per-view called Always Ready with the Matt Cardona, graphics style and everything. And it's like, what's funny about that is, Swan's on MySpace. The what's funny about that is, on the NWA, they're playing up how he's like a disgrace as the NWA champion and everybody hates him. And the company doesn't even like that he has the belt. And Nick Aldis really wants to get the belt back and all this other stuff. And yet they just name a pay-per-view after him and build the graphics around him and everything like that. That's one of the things that's really annoying about wrestling these days is how you'll see the companies where they have like disrespectful people that work there that disparage the company, do things that would embarrass the company, and they just like keep putting them out front and center. Like, that is not how anything works in the real world. But at least the Austin thing back in the WWF days, they justified that, not as well as they could have, but I remember hearing it said that's like, well, I can't fire Austin because he sells too much tickets and merchandise. Otherwise I'd fire him. But you know what I mean? So, like, that makes sense. I don't think, and with all due respect to Billy Corgan and the NWA, I don't think Matt Cardona's bringing in anything one way or the other as champion. So, you would think there's like, yeah, we're not naming a pay-per-view after you, buddy.
If you wanted to go that route, you could have easily done like a match stipulation or something where if like Matt goes, okay, well, if I win, I get a pay-per-view where it's basically a tribute to me.
Yeah, why not? Like, how easy is that? I mean, it's something that easy that only has to be verbalized. You don't even have to make graphics and text for the screen explaining that, like the Royal Rumble rules or something. You could just say it, and then you can be like, well, we said it. And then Colin can hit the button that says,
Then you shouldn't have said it.
yeah. All right.
And so we go to the ring for another match. We had two promos, vignettes back to back. We've got a 6-woman tag match with Savannah Evans, Deonna Purrazzo, Tasha Steelz versus Jordan Grace, Mia Yim, and Ty Valkyrie. And Yim, Grace, and Ty over with the Eat Defeat.
Yes. It looks like Mia made enough contact this week to win the match. So
She
that's
looked like she hurt her leg after the match, too. She's kind of rubbing her leg down and like shaking it out after she did that.
wow.
Did Mia get involved at all until the hot tag?
I think so, yeah. I don't think she was in the match at all up until the hot tag.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but
It was very cold tag. Taya was very cold in the ring too. She seemed to be moving at like a 2-speed. Like if she was a car that had six gears, she was only going 2 the whole entire match. Like she was going so slow. And I don't know if that's part of her size or if that's how she was in the match. Like that I had to go back and watch her do the knee down reversal thing that she did when she ran away. She did it so shitty. Like it was so slow and shitty. I'm like, what momentum are you getting? Like you're not bouncing off the ropes. You're not doing anything. You literally slid and stopped yourself, turned around and like ran back into her. It just looked, it's the boobs. It's probably the boots, the boobs, and everything else that she's got on her that's weighing her
the
down.
extra 20 pounds of body fat. Yeah, I don't know, man. Look, I don't want to body shame anybody.
Did Mia twerk in the match? I saw Tasha twerk in the match.
She
was mocking.
What Tasha did.
Yeah, it was basically like a FU.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Was it an STFU?
No, it was the other one.
No, because then you wouldn't be able to see it.
That's true. That's true.
Nice.
Anything else on this match from you guys? This was just a match, really.
Yeah,
realistically, for me.
Flatter than the earth because it's 80% water and non-carbonated.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you describe that match. Let's see.
Next is
Here we
locker
got-
room talk.
Yep. You let me read his notes.
I am the wrestling redneck. It was me, Austin.
It was me all along. Locker room talk with the influence, interrupted by Swinger and Dice Daddy, and then interrupted by Decay.
Yeah,
I
they
think he summed that
teleported
up
in.
pretty well. Yep, they teleported in with a snap.
They have they've added those. They had those lights that I was talking about, those floor lights, and they have yellow and blue now.
You there? Sitting at home. Acknowledge me.
All right, what's up, Sonic the Hedge Rat? Yeah, I like this segment. It was pretty fun. Swinger and Dice Daddy did it for me. I loved when they called him Dice Daddy, double D's.
Or is it the new thing now? Like every time Swinger goes anywhere, Dice is pushing him in the WrestleMania 3 entrance cart.
And now he's dressing like Swinger too. He's even more Swingerific, baby. I wish I had some glasses on. I would do the glasses shtick that they did in the whole thing. So much fun.
Those two have some pretty good chemistry together.
Yeah. Zicky Dice I think Zicky Dice is the dude from Eastbound and Downs pretending to be a pro wrestler.
That was kind of the idea I got when I first saw him.
Yeah, but I really think it's him. I don't think it's Zicky Dice.
You think it's Danny McBride?
Yeah, it's Danny McBride. he's doing the ultimate like Andy Kaufman, like they'll never know I'm Zicky Dice.
So this is his Tony Clifton.
Wait till we get Zicky Dice and McBride, Danny McBride in the same room together, then you'll know.
That's when you know Zicky Dice has really made it.
Yeah, probably.
But for now, we have to settle for teleporting and those garish lighting treatments. So
That's true. Well, they tell Havoc and Decay, the influence, that they can't get a match unless they beat some people. So they need to go figure that out. And then we see Havoc trying to figure it out later on in the evening. And this segment was what it was, setting up the next kind of Influence versus Decay feud that they'll end up having down the road. Brandon, did you have any thoughts on this?
Not really, other than, just at least it's a decent setup and an established team to help, get the, or they might flip the belts to him. Who knows?
Maybe. Vet, anything else?
I hate it.
You hated it. Next we've got Gia backstage with Chris Sabin. Sabin calls out AEW superstar Frankie Kazarian for next week.
No, for
yeah.
Slammiversary.
Oh, was it for Slammiversary? I thought it was for next week.
They're having a battle of the futures.
The future.
Because the future is now, or it's
Future
probably
is now.
yeah. It's like way now. It's like really now because these guys have been around a long time. And then after this they do the flashback to their 03 match that Frankie wins with the flux capacitor to remind everybody, yes, he used to work there, and these guys.
And he had
a
long
match.
hair before he cut it off in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Made him cut it. It's one of those tests.
I guess he passed.
Man, all these references to the past. I'm hearing rumors that Aces and Ace might be getting back together. I'm still waiting for the Sports Entertainment Extreme reunion.
Well, you can't get Disco out of bed or out of the club to come and show up for that,
True.
so it's not
Too busy hanging out with Conan on K100.
I wonder what Mike Sanders is up to.
Colonel Sanders.
It can't be much. Let's be honest. It can't be much.
Laprat says that's some young up and coming talent.
In fairness, though, Chris Sabin still looks like a child. He's the size of a child, and facially, he looks like somewhat of a child.
Like he's grown up.
Yeah, he looks like a young adult man.
I will say you kind of popped me at the start of the show because when you said why would they bring in somebody just to have him lose, I'm like, they're bringing in Kazarian to lose to Chris Sabin. He's going to get his win back after all those years, which they showed in the flashback. As you said, Kazarian goes over. So Sabin's like, I guess Scott D'Amore probably comes with him, and he's like, all right, here's a list of guys that have beaten you in your career. You get to go over them now, so I'll bring them in, and you just get to pin them live on pay-per-view. Which guys do you want? He has the Cody list. There's like the Chris Sabin list. All right, Kazarian, Moose, anybody else you can bring in that Eric Young? No, sorry, we can't let you beat Eric Young. I have plans for Eric Young, Chris. I can't let you beat him. That's probably how that conversation went down.
Well, yeah, it couldn't be any more obvious the favoritism of the old, long-time guys. And I get it in a way. Like, these guys have never gone any... Well, Eric Young went somewhere. But Chris Sabin never really went anywhere. So, it's... If you want to look at it in terms of, like, rewarding your loyal soldiers or whatever. But if I was in that position, I would push back against that somewhat. Because it's obviously... If I've been in the same place for 20 years... It's obviously not about me, so I might as well try to do whatever I could to lift the company up. If they can use my name and legacy or whatever to help out other people, yeah, give me a win sometimes. But he's gotten too many wins where, it should have counted for the other guy. Mm-hmm. But
Labrat in the chat says,
I love this match.
Well, fair enough.
Fair enough. How did he do an audio chat? That was really weird. Anything else on these two little segments here before we hop into the next thing?
No, just to put a bow on that, if they're gonna bring somebody in to lose to Chris Sabin, I don't mind if it's Frankie Kazarian.
True.
That's one of the few times I wouldn't complain about Chris Sabin going over.
Right, and he can use that rub from that to give to somebody else on the roster. If they actually put somebody over Sabin.
Unless they just put Kazarian over. That'd be funny.
They'd probably just put Kazarian over. TK probably paid enough. Put Kazarian over in this one. Eric Young promo on seeing Mania 3 and talking about Steamboat and Macho Man and his career. That probably would be a hell of a match. Like your first wrestling thing that you get to go to is fucking WrestleMania 3. You get to see like one of the arguably best wrestling matches ever, like live in person. Even though he couldn't see him, they were tiny little ants.
Right.
What is
and
this? A mania of ants?
It needs to be
How
at
are they
least
even gonna
3
fit in the
times this
building?
bigger than this.
How are they even going to fit in this ring?
The Pontiac Silverdome for people who can wrestle good. I like if you're that young watching that match, you don't even realize what you're looking at. You know what I mean? Like you have no clue what you're seeing at that time. You'd have to it has to be in retroactively looking back and being like, wow, what a great match, and I was there. But as a child, you can't be seeing WrestleMania 3 and realizing what you're seeing. As a child, all you remember is Andre got body slammed.
Yeah, pretty much. That's
That's
only
all
thing
the hell
most
you
everybody
know.
remembers from 3.
Yep. So
Brandon, you got anything on there? Eric Young's promo?
I dug it. I like how they, recapped his entire career, showed us where he's been and where he's going. I like to see more of this for a lot of the longer time wrestlers. Kind of catch the new reviewers up to who these people are and why they're important.
Yeah. Eric, so there was a Facebook question that was posed in a group chat that I'm in, or actually it's a group that I'm in. Eric Young, main eventer. What are your thoughts, Bet?
Eric Young can do anything. Like he has the ability to pull anything off. I think that's kind of the point of his entire promo because he's telling the story in as close to a shoot way without, crossing the line.
Mm-hmm.
Even saying things like everything I've ever been handed, I ran with it, is still like borderline business exposing, but it's such a generic phrase that you can just take it either way. But yeah, main eventer, like you got to be thinking like, who's asking a question like that? Marks ask questions like that. Wrestlers don't ask questions of like, I don't think this guy should deserve to be a main eventer, because what are you basing that on? All you're basing that on is how wrestling promoters have booked that person up to that point. So you have no idea who's really good and who's not. You look at Eric Young, you look at what happened when he goes to NXT, and then you look at what happens in the WWE portion, the main roster portion of WWE.
Whoa! You don't have to do. I can do that work for you. I can do all of that work for you.
Main roster. Thank you. So, yeah, having seen Eric Young in main events. Oh yeah, they didn't show Erica's Knockouts Tag Champ, Buckshot Kid says. Well, they could have if they wanted. But I think they were trying to avoid the comedy aspects because he's not doing that much now. But yeah, the point is, we've seen Eric Young in the spot. It's not like anybody was like, oh God, Eric Young shit the bed in the main event. It's just like, of course he could be a main eventer if you wanted him to be. Anybody can be. People have been. People have been just pushed into the main event regardless of their skill or whatever. Ultimate Warrior, etc. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Like, main eventer is just what the company will force down your throat. It has nothing to do with ability. Any of those guys could have been main eventers. Barry Horowitz could have been a main eventer. That's a Mark's way of looking at it, saying, can this guy be a main eventer? Yeah, some guys can't.
Well, not just a Mark, the most effervescent, the most magnanimous, the most unbiased Mark of the IWC.
The Professor Chabelo
Tabela
Veracruz.
Veracruz.
Yeah, well, I'm not disparaging if I'm saying it, but I'm not saying like
Well, no,
what I'm
he's a
saying.
Mark, but he's
Yeah,
just
I know.
not your ordinary Mark.
He is a Mark, but I'm saying when I say that, what I'm saying two things. One, somebody that's never done it. And two, somebody that can be fooled into looking at the business from that aspect, like forgetting a perspective. Now, the Professor has a lot of good perspectives on things as a fan, so it's a valid question to bring up. But most of the time, when you're looking at things in that term of like can somebody be a main event? It's such a the concept itself is so nebulous. It's like anything could like even shows in guard armories have main events.
Yeah.
You know what does it really mean, right? So I think he's asking, can it be like on a big stage? Can Eric Young be the kind of guy that can carry a company? And I would argue probably.
Yeah, I'm probably. I don't think he's not like a Roman Reigns or a Hogan or a Rock or a Stone Cold.
Well, clearly they wouldn't even let him. They wouldn't even let him just do the gimmick in WWE on the undercard,
They should.
which is like, and
so over.
and then it's more, and then it's so insulting the fact that they did Retribution after that. You know what I mean? Like, but that's them. But apparently, a lot of people just look at them at WWE and the way they do things and base everything around that, which in some cases is valid. You know, in terms of like the professionalism of the quality of production and things like that. But then on the other hand, when you're just talking about who you choose to give a push, I mean, there's so many guys that are great that could be making them a lot of money that they just leave sitting in the back.
I do hate that they rushed and had Eric Young first, because when I saw Professor say what he said about Eric Young, my first thought was, man, in this iteration of Eric Young, oh yeah, he's definitely somebody I'd put the title on and somebody I'd have in the company. I mean, he's a good psychotic type of heel. Like the promos that he's cutting, he's got the faction, he's got, that would be a good heel to have a babyface chase. He's somebody that you could have kind of lead that company as like a Triple H did, in during the ruthless aggression era. Basically what turned me off from watching wrestling was that whole Triple H era where he was, even when he was a good guy, just going over everybody. I still didn't watch. I'm just like, dude, you're winning every match. Let's I'm tired of you. Go away. You're like Diesel as champion. Go away. But Eric Young, I think he would be a good champion in Impact. I just hate that now Josh just got the title back and they're feeding Eric Young to him now. I would like to have seen Josh maybe got a nice title run and then, Violent by Design's finally like, you know what? We're gonna take this fucking title from you. I'm done. You're an infection to this fucking division. You're an infection to the sport. I'm taking you out.
Yeah, I mean they could do that. But I'm just saying, a guy like that wouldn't wait. He would demand to have it now.
That's true.
And I don't know. The Violent by Design thing is kind of boring to me, but I mean the idea is fine, but just the execution of it is boring. I think the guys are boring. It's the same old stuff. They're not even that violent. So, in comparison to what other stuff happens, like
That's true. Yeah.
Honor No More does more than they do violent.
Legado del Fantasma kidnaps people.
Right. They've only kidnapped like one person. And then they lost him. Now he's back with Heath. So it's pretty lame. But I don't know. What do you think, Brandon, about Eric Young as a potential? Because and one other thing I wanted to add is, main eventer and Impact, is it going to make a difference? I don't think anybody that they make champion is going to make a difference. So I don't think it would, it would hurt in that aspect if you wanted to give him a run. But, but what do you think, Brandon?
And it would seem kind of weird, like after that whole big build-up and story with Moose and Alexander, and just flip it right back again. But it would actually make sense because Eric Young is like a great heel that you could have somebody chase and just be that psychotic monster that always like finds some way to slip through, or some sort of like if you think he couldn't like get any more sadistic and violent, and he keeps topping it every single time.
All right. And then there's the issue of like the repercussions of that, which would get complicated by the fact that he's supposed to be the face of the company. So, but they didn't really do anything to Moose. They let Moose do whatever he wanted and no repercussions. So we can see that they're kind of boring with their booking on that. Anyway, so to answer your question from the Facebook chat, I don't know.
Sorry,
but we get Josh Alexander next.
We do get Josh Alexander next as we are backstage. Oh, Alexander backstage with Gia.
No music.
No music. He didn't have that in the notes. These are very short, quick sentences. He doesn't know how to like read or write. So I think this is.
Oh.
But he has a blog on the internet.
Does he dictate it to somebody?
It could be like speech to text.
Okay.
Maybe that's why it has the accent.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Makes sense.
That makes sense then. Well, anyway, Josh just tells Eric Young that if he wants to get this belt, he'll have to bring the fight of his life. So, standard wrestling stuff.
Bring the fight of your life. No, okay.
I mean, what can you say?
Let's see. Then we go back to the ring. Honor No More versus the Good Brothers. Good Brothers in after Bennett spears Maria, and Anderson hits the gun stun for the win.
Yep, that is what happened.
Surprisingly enough, the OGK put the chin locks on the Good Brothers in this match. So using their offense against them didn't quite work out for them. Didn't quite. They still lost.
Yeah. Not only did they lose, but he speared his wife.
He speared his wife,
And not in the way he normally does.
and he busted open.
She's not going to get pregnant from this spearing.
Are you sure?
I'm not sure, but I don't think she will. This looked like a regular tackle. So
What if Impact next week's like, oh my God, Maria's pregnant?
then that would be very Impact.
My iPhone keeps sending me notifications that my headphones are turned to like the new iPhone thing when you're connected to Bluetooth forever. It's like, hey, your ears, they're being damaged. I'm like, you're connected to the Bluetooth all the time. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Just trying to be considerate. Siri's just trying to take care of you.
That's true. That's true. So we're gonna have more Honor No More Bullet Club violence here because Maria. What do you think is gonna be the fallout from all of this stuff with Maria, who also
Divorce.
joined the guys on commentary? Thank you for reminding me, Adrian, who says that Maria seemed a little off on commentary. Well, she's a little off now that she got speared.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think, and I'm sure Brandon would agree with this. If we're going to continue the Honor No More Bullet Club and something, we got to have something on the line at some point to say why we're doing this rather than just, you're obviously filling TV time. You need to, there has to be a like an incentive.
Some kind of plot advancement or story device or something. And
Like-
this did something.
Yeah, you guys are going to battle it out, and if you win, you get something. I mean, yeah, he speared his own wife, but now what are they going to do with that? That's, that's an easy misunderstanding. Like, this is one of the things I don't like about pro wrestling. You may be able to add this to the bingo card some way. But like where somebody will do something that's clearly an accident and that's all it needs to be. And the only reason it even happened is because her ass got up on the thing and started trying to cheat and all this other stuff. And she got nailed when she shouldn't have been there in the first place. She was supposed to be on commentary. So like in real life, that'd be a question of like, well, honey, you shouldn't have got up there. And she's like, I know, I was just trying to help. Anyway, move along with life because you're both wrestlers and you know how the shit goes. But instead, this is going to turn into a dramatic thing now where there's going to be like a rift between them and all this other shit. And he's going to overreact like he did. Mike Bennett overreacting to the I would just been like, if I'm Mike Bennett and I'm a heel and my wife jumps in and tries to cheat and gets nailed, and I think I'm this
She got nailed.
yeah, by me.
Whoa, vet.
Whoa, not me. If it was my wife, it's my wife.
What? Maria Canellis is your wife.
Yeah, I'm saying it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Not
Shocking.
Mike, so not only is the vet wrestling redneck, he's also Mike Bennett.
Yeah.
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
Wow.
Mike Bennett.
All right. Let me rephrase. The point I was getting to is if I accidentally, hit my wife and she's out on the ground and I'm like the match is still going on, I'm just gonna like do the thing where I like kick her under the rope with my foot, like get out of here.
At the rope.
Yeah. Just gently shove her out of the ring with my foot. Cause I'm a heel.
That's
true.
true.
I can't be like, oh, sympathy for me because of accidental spousal abuse. I can't just grab my head for 20 seconds. Oh, I can't believe this happened. Just that kind of shit. I'd just be like, ah, shit. And you're like, damn. And then just kick her out of the ring and then turn around and get hit by the finish or whatever. Like that would have been the better thing. But I think based on the way they did this, they're going to try to play this into something that it's like, we're not buying it.
They're breaking up Honor No More already.
Could be.
I can see it. They're pretty much DOA at this point.
Yeah. The whole Ring of Honor getting bought by Tony Khan kind of ruined the whole Honor No More thing.
No, it didn't because they left Ring of Honor on their own.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Then they
come on.
invaded Impact and were given contracts after they invaded Impact,
Right.
much like Retribution.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Jesus.
Well, everybody sucks at wrestling, huh?
We've come full circle.
Yeah. All right.
Full circle. Brandon, you got anything else on this?
I did like the character work of Anderson after the spear, because usually like in these types of match, or usually like you see like they go right into the finish where they actually take the time to let it sink in, and answering to go, well, you did that. You did that.
I saw that. Yeah, he was in the acting mode the minute they came out, because when the Bullet Club came out, I don't know if you noticed, Jay White was being silly on stage and he kind of like slapped Carl Anderson on the ass. And then Carl like told him to do it again and kind of stood like looking back, like waiting for Jay to do it. And then when Jay did it, that's when he started like walking down to the ring. So Carl was in a good mood for this match and for this taping before they went down into the ring. So maybe he had gotten
He
some
even
from
gave
Hot
the
Asian
chin lock
Wife.
away.
Yeah, he didn't even do a chin lock. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like he
guys,
did
I'm in
the
such a
gun
good
stun.
mood. Yeah,
They
he did
didn't do the
gun
Magic
stun.
Killer. We got to see maybe we're gonna get a singles run from Carl Anderson here.
Oh man.
Carl
Maybe he'll-
Anderson,
maybe
Impact
he'll-
World Champion.
Maybe he'll accidentally spear his hot Asian wife. If
Which
she tries to
one?
interfere.
Josh Alexander's or why do all these wrestlers in Impact have hot Asian wives? Wait a second here. And Scott D'Amore's like, I've lived with all of them. I've known all. I'm great friends with all of them. You know, because he's like scarily good friends with Jade. Like, I've got the key to your house, Josh. Oh man, Impact Wrestling is so weird. You say that
Adrian
out
Fraser
loud.
says they can't break up yet. Their theme is too good. If you're talking about the Good Brothers, Adrian, stop it.
I was talking about the Honor No More.
Oh, okay. If that's the case,
I honestly, when I read this, I thought accident causes infertility. That's what I thought that said.
So maybe
Like,
Scott
I
didn't-
hope that didn't make Maria infertile when he speared her like that.
So maybe Scott D'Amore is the godfather of Impact.
It's true.
Hmm.
He's running a hoe train, eh?
and we haven't seen him around either. So
No love for the Canadian hoe train joke.
No.
Okay. Well, guess what? If you hated that joke, Vet, you're gonna hate this promo coming up, because Sammy Callahan promo.
he says Moose's life will be a living hell. Well, my life is a living hell because this is the only mention of Moose we even have on this episode.
Where Moose?
We want Moose.
We all
Could
could
use
use
a
a
moose.
hamburger every now and again.
Yes,
A Moose burger.
yes, a moose burger. I think that's probably what that's what Sammy's been eating while he's been away. Moose burgers.
Does Moose make a good burger?
Probably. Bison does. Elk does, I think.
That's
Elk's
a different
probably more
animal.
stew meat, yeah.
Those are completely different animals than
They
Moose.
are. Elk would be more closely related to moose. They're probably more stew meat because it's like deer. It's probably more like deer. It's probably gamey.
Yeah, you can still grind it up,
Yeah,
smash it
some
into a patty. I mean,
deer sausage. Scott's side business is pimping out Asian women. Laugh out loud. Honor no more. Although I do love the gunshots part of the Good Brothers theme.
yeah, that's the only part because everything else makes me want to just turn it off. Like as soon as I hear that devil, I'm like, oh god, turn it off.
Oh, that's
their-
not it. That's the
Even their
Bullet Club.
theme is boring. Like the Good Brothers theme is even boring. So it fits them.
All right. Anything else on Sammy Callahan? Brandon, you got anything?
Looks like he's gotten away from the hacker stuff, maybe, but still kind of the. Yeah, I mean, it's,
Death Machine.
let's see something new. Let's see something new.
Yeah, you're probably not going to get anything new out of Sammy in this. Next, we've got Masha Squasha He thought he was very clever on that one.
Not bad.
Do what?
I said not bad.
Not bad, not bad. But that's pretty much what we got was a Masha Squasha. And afterwards, Havoc teleports to the ring and faces off with Masha. So Havoc is going to be, it's like, I need to get a graphic where it's Masha slowly moving up the Mortal Kombat totem pole. Like she's beating all the young lions of the women's division, young lionesses. And now she's at like the bottom rung of like the top 15 talent in Impact Wrestling, and it's Havoc. And then next is like Savannah Evans. And then next it'll be like Lady Frost and Giselle and Alicia. And then, sorry, I had to come back down to get Alicia. And then and then Madison Rain and Tennille together because they're on the same rung. Then they'll bring back.
It's like that handicap portion of the ladder where you have to face two opponents.
Yeah, you face two at the same time, and then it'll be the inspiration back to back. Cassie, then Billy Kay, and then so forth up until you get to like Mickey James and Tasha Steeles and all that type of stuff. So Masha's moving up the ladder. She's getting her first real test in the women's division.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick for like how they've been building her as like this unstoppable monster. So put her up against a monster,
and she's really not that shorter. You know, when they went forehead to forehead, you know, kind of surprised by that. It looked like though Havoc could easily move her with that size that she has. Havoc was kind of holding back, like when they put heads together.
Yeah, well, I mean, she gains 6-7 inches with the hair, so she's gonna seem like she's as tall as anybody. Yeah, all right. We'll see. Let's see it. Let's see it.
Raj Singh and Shira promo on Gujar, who interrupts the promo. Morrissey steps up and has Gujar's back. Let's do it. I think, you know, that was the tagline there at the end where they slapped hands and was like, let's do it.
Yeah, they did the Predator hand clasp. You son of a bitch.
I was
got you pushing too many pencils, huh?
Get to the chopper. I was gonna change my name to Let's Do It, just for that. I need to get that drop of Bhupendar saying that. Let's do it. More Indian on Indian crime here at the Impact Attack with the British influences. They're bringing in the white guy to come help conquer the other Indians that they're fighting here in this match.
I guess the way for Raj and Shira to win is to just sit and peacefully fast in the middle of the ring until Morrissey and Bhupinder walk out and get counted out, I guess.
Just leave. They're just tired of it. Just eat something. Quit being so pacifist. You're a lion, Shira. Quit being a pacifist. Yeah, so he kind of talked about that. He realized like he needs friends now, which a guy that's like 18 feet tall and like beating up the whole learning tree now all of a sudden needs friends.
Well, people grow and change.
They do. Well, Vet, anything else? Brandon, anything else?
That just felt so out of left field. Like, how does Morrissey fit into any of this?
It's all because of what I said last week when we saw Shira and Morrissey in the ring together when they were that beef that we had. It was like, all right, they gotta put these two guys in the ring. Like, I think Shira's probably, besides Doring, they're like one of their biggest, like brawniest looking guys, and I don't think they have Jake something around anymore to throw at Morrissey, who's another big jack looking dude. So, you know, it's a chance for you to get a big jack dude in the ring with Shira and Morrissey together.
If Morrissey's going over, at least that would work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gujar and Morrissey are going over in this. Bet.
Also, this took place in front of the pink and purple concrete wall.
That's right. I'm gonna make sure to get some pink and purple lights behind me one night. Do the whole show in front of pink and purple neon lights.
Might not look bad if you do it.
Yeah, that's true. All right, we are at our main event. The VBD versus Dim 1111 boys. Oh, he definitely listens to the show. He's stealing our gimmick. For the Impact Tag Team Championships, Dim 1111 boys win with a roll up and proceed to get smashed by VBD after the bell. And Josh Alexander with a save, and then he too gets beaten down by VBD.
Well, it's almost like they're trying to promote an upcoming match.
Didn't I say this last week that this was going to happen? We were going to see Josh Alexander team up with the Briscoes to go against VBD. They were going to need a third. There's going to be like a 3-on-3 thing that was going to happen here. Come on.
I'm pretty sure you said that.
Yeah,
Did Rass on Redneck say that?
No, I said that. Colin.
But did he
Colin
also
said
say
that.
it?
No, he didn't say that.
Okay.
If he had said it in the notes, I would have read it as an impression of him. Come on, Bet.
All right. Well,
You also
because
have purple hair, right?
yeah,
Purple
there's nothing
highlights.
wrong.
I think she left the purple highlights out of there. Sorry.
There's nothing wrong with owning, using purple lighting if you're not producing an episode of fucking Impact Wrestling.
Whoa. What if you're producing the porno version of fucking Impact Wrestling?
Then you're on NWA doing Velvet After Dark.
Oh, that was so cringe. Oh, that was cringe.
No offense to Velvet. It wasn't your fault, Velvet.
Yeah, it wasn't her fault. Some of it was. Some of her lines were really corny. And
No,
how she
never
was
blame
delivering it.
Velvet.
No, I know.
Nothing is Velvet's fault.
It was really bad.
But you know what else is bad? Since there's no Moose, this is really the only thing to enjoy on the show. It's the Briscoes. And we didn't get a promo, which was sad. Yeah. We didn't get a promo, which was sad, but at least we got this match. It was a nice Briscoes doing stuff match. I don't even care what they did. I barely concentrated on it. I was just sitting there like, wow, the Briscoes are on. I didn't really pay attention.
That's still shocked. Like, oh my God, it's like another act that I like in Impact. I'm watching the Briscoes, who are now, they made a point to talk about Joe Doring not having gotten pinned or submitted since he came back to Impact Wrestling or something like that. The Dim 1111 boys, undefeated since coming back.
Yeah, 2 matches, 2 wins.
2 matches, 2 wins.
No, actually three matches.
It's 3.
Now.
They're 3-0 right now. So it looks like they're on a roll, and I think they've main evented pretty much every Impact show they've had since they came back.
Well, no, because the qualifier was like an opening match.
That's right.
When they made their debut, it was the opening. But damn, it might as well have been a main event.
Yeah. Put their.
They just moved the main event up to the front
first.
of the show.
Yeah, to the first. Yeah, of course.
That's what Tony Khan does. So
he also comes out with a big announcement every week. I've got a big announcement.
yeah,
I got a big announcement, guys. I got a big announcement.
he's doing what he needs to do.
My announcement's bigger.
That's Vince. Vince on Fridays.
Yeah, I announced that people hate us so much that they leave in the middle of the show. That's my announcement.
And he did it. He
Vince
came
McMahon,
out.
Damn it.
Did it when Austin did it too.
Yeah, he didn't leave in the middle of the show though.
No. He just disappeared after Mania. Just went home, got on a plane, was like, "Fuck
Well,
y'all, I'm leaving."
No, he called and asked what was happening on the show, and they told him, and he's like, "Fuck, I'm not coming in."
Actually, we did get D'Amore on the show during the Eric Young promo. We got Scott D'Amore of Team Canada slapping Eric Young around.
Yeah, we got vintage classic Scott D'Amore.
Which
Coach D'Amore.
I think I had a joke in here earlier about that. Hang on, let me find it. You guys talk about whatever y'all want to talk about while I right here. If I was there in person with them, I would have slapped them like Scott did when he ran Team Canada. I think I was referring to you two. I don't know what I was referring to you for, but Buckshot Kid has said I'm Scott D'Amore. I don't know. He was on Team Canada thing. They showed him. He made the episode.
Gotcha. So what about the main event match, Brandon?
I'm That's one thing I'm liking about some of these matches, especially like with the Briscoes, is like the creative spots. They actually like usually when you see them in Spot Fest, they're creative for the sake of being creative. They don't really make sense. Whereas when the Briscoes do them, it makes sense. There's psychology to them. There's a reason to them happening, and it keeps the match going. And I was actually expecting a title switch here to put some heat on the Eric Young. Maybe like he interferes, he helps him get the belts. I mean, I know it'd probably be a quick flip, but like kind of might help put some heat on him, get him some more momentum going into this title match with Alexander.
It wouldn't have helped him as much as it would have hurt the Briscoes. So that's probably why they didn't do it.
That car engine, them calling you back to set to finish shooting Fast 10?
Yeah, I mean,
It's like your alarm.
if we could just wrap this up really quickly, I've got it.
I mean, I think I'm
Diesel
done.
Doesn't like to wait.
Yeah, we can't have him waiting. You guys got anything else about Impact?
Yes, I actually do. There was a couple of spots for we didn't talk about them, but there was a couple of spots for Slammiversary that had like Josh Alexander walking down a hall where there's like some weird creepy music playing, and he finds a box.
It's gonna
and then,
teleport him to another land.
yeah, that's at the end of the first one, and then they do a second one later where he opens the box, and inside the box is just a bunch of clips of TNA. But I mean, still, like it was just a weird promo to do. I'm not really sure. Like they worked hard on it, but I didn't really like it.
Was like Dixie hiding those clips in a box so that if she wouldn't have to like sell them to Billy when he was trying to buy the company. She was like, I'm gonna hide these hey Suge, I'm gonna hide these clips in this box right here. Y'all don't forget I put them in here. We'll go back over to over church. Y'all don't tell Stevie what I did with the box and about church, okay? That's her. Hey Suge.
Is
These
she
are
the
the
wrestling redneck's mom?
over clips.
Yeah. These are the over clips. We keep them in a box.
Yeah, well,
Liz was like, what the fuck is that for? To hold old Impact. That's where Impact's tape library is.
right. Don't you know that every
In the
time
Holy Grail box.
every time you boot up Impact Plus and you want to watch something old, they have to open the box.
Swinger has to go open the box and go put the tape in like a VHS. He's their master control operator, like Jargo's our master control operator. So does that make Jargo our Swinger?
I would never disrespect Dr. Jargo like that.
Then that makes RBV our dice daddy.
I would consider that a compliment.
Yes, Adrian, it was a very cheesy bit.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was for. I thought they were about to do a Alexander promo. I'm like, man, they're about to have a lot of Josh Alexander in this episode. And then he kind of like walked up. I was like, oh, what? Oh, this is a promo for Slammiversary. Okay.
Well, you got to get your cliche in of like creepy kids singing. Everybody knows that's the go-to for creepiness.
It worked for the Lost Boys.
Yeah. Did it work for Anyway, never mind. Yeah, and also I added a couple of things to the bingo list.
Ooh.
So if you guys did not hear the bingo list, I'm not going to recap the whole thing now. But you can go back on the previous episode and listen. We need 24 items, and we're about up to 20 now. And these are usually like things that are wrestling cliches that are bad and need to go or whatever. It's not necessarily like pet peeves. Like I could some of them could be classified as pet peeves, but like there's a lot of stuff that happens in the ring that wrestlers do in matches I'm not really including here. This is more focused on the production of the overall show or the management thereof. Like if somebody's saying things in a promo and it's something that people say all the time and management could say, hey, don't say that because that's stupid and everybody's tired of hearing it. One of those things would be number 19 here, the threat of anal insertion. Yes. So much of pro wrestling is guys talking about sticking things up people's asses. It has been since The Rock has been there.
But at least The Rock had you shine it up really nice.
Yeah,
and turn it sideways.
Yeah.
And you turn it sideways. So it fits a little better.
But he was very fixated on that. Like a lot of people consider The Rock to be one of the greatest promos of all time. I'm not going to argue how good he was of a promo, but I will say that a lot of what you remember The Rock saying was just sticking things up people's asses and random animal body parts. Like, most of his promos were just, the Rock wipes a lobster's left testicle with what you think. Like, okay, all right, it's fine,
Llama testicles.
Yep. Everybody knows that, Umaga is Samoan for shriveled up monkey penis. Just.
Man, the Rock promo. I used to love flipping on Monday night and getting a good Rock promo. Like, the fucking Rock. Good
Right.
Rock promo.
So, but I think we can all agree that no one can talk about, the anal cavities and putting things in them like The Rock, but yet people are still trying. Like, every show I turn on is stick something up somebody's ass. Nothing has ever.
Stop watching Jerry Springer.
No, I'm talking about wrestling.
I'm watching
nothing.
GCW.
Nothing has ever gotten stuck up anybody's ass. It's never happened.
Are you sure?
Never,
I've
not
heard
once.
plenty of stories of dudes in the ERs with like beepers and other things like that stuck in their ass.
Colin, on professional wrestling programming by wrestlers, no one has stuck anything up anybody's ass. They can't.
We did see something get pulled out of somebody's ass in that JR skit.
No.
Or, sorry, it's Triple H.
But that
No.
wasn't a person. That wasn't a real person. That was a
No.
paper mache head.
I can go find you a PWG gimmick where there was a line of people who had their thumbs up each other's asses.
Nobody watches PWG. They're not televised either.
That's right. But I can find the YouTube clip. It's on YouTube, Vet.
Oh, well, that counts.
Jushin Thunder Liger puts his thumb up somebody's ass.
No, not Jushin Thunder Liger. They didn't talk him into that, did they?
Maybe,
All right,
maybe
well.
he. No, I don't think he did. I think he was the leader of the conga line because he was the one that used his butt to like flip everybody.
All right. You know what? Let's not talk about that because that is not what I'm saying. If you want to start a conga line of thumbs up asses, that's one thing. But I'm just saying, don't go on the TV on your promo and say you're going to stick something up somebody's ass because you're not. That's what I'm talking about.
I think Paige would think.
Also not televised.
Sure about that?
Oh man.
Seen, but not televised. Right. So there's that. And then the other one I had was the old, now this doesn't happen as often, but it should never really happen. But like the childish stealing of somebody's championship belts, where someone just takes the belt and then just walks around and carries it around like they own this belt. And no one does anything about it. They just keep having the other person's belt for however long. And the other person has no interest in getting it back. What is your question, sir?
Professor Vet, wouldn't that fall under your commits a crime?
It could. It could.
Because there's been plenty of times where they've stolen the belt and just thrown it in the river.
Ah, yes, that is. Well, these can actually, if these things happen, depending on the context, you can then check off 2 spaces. So you'd be closer to a
So
bingo.
you'd be
right?
lucky if you got both of those on your card. 'Cause
Yeah.
You can be like, I get 3 free ones right
Yeah,
here.
there's
Yes.
there's no limit to how many of these bingo spaces one act can cover. Like you might get a whole line off one thing if these are lined up correctly.
If you get a Joey Janela match. What happens if someone smashes the belt? Like Joey Janela, you're just like, oh God, I filled up my whole card. Fuck.
Well, damn it, that's a filmed crime, is it not? I don't know if anybody would prosecute that crime though. Like, if LDF kidnaps somebody and throws them in an SUV or whatever, or Joe Gacy kidnaps somebody and throws a potato sack on their head, or kidnaps a Hall of Famer, like that could be prosecuted outside. If you told somebody, like, if you went to the police and said somebody smashed my wrestling belt, they might be like, all right, fill out a form. Like they don't care. It's not a big deal. That's got to be regulated by the wrestling company. So that may or may not qualify as a filmed crime. Let's just say if I'm one away from a bingo and filmed crime is the spot, then I'll definitely take it. But
What if, though, because technically that would be the company's property. What if the company decided to press charges for destruction of their property?
well, then I would love it because that would be something in wrestling that happens that never happens.
Yeah, it never happened.
I would be, dude, if wrestling companies should be fining, suspending, and firing wrestlers every single episode for the things that they do. If this shit was real. So
You throw a mic down, hey, $10,000 fine.
yeah, exactly. You broke that mic. So yeah. But yeah, so but belts is not necessarily the limit to it. There people steal shit all the time, like just the personal property. They'll steal somebody's something or whatever, and or even a car. So you don't have to limit it to title belts, but that's the one thing that I'm just kind of like, all right, can we? It's so like a kindergartner's idea of how to get heat. What if you take his belt? You didn't win it, but what if you take it? Like,
It's true.
lame.
Can you make a special square just for Joey Janela? Like it's the Joey Janela square. Like if you
No,
just
'cause-
happen to be watching a match and Joey Janela pops up,
No, because he doesn't.
only an idiot would put himself on fire and not have anything in the ring to make sure that he can get his boot put out in time so that he doesn't get second and third degree burns all over himself. And then all the staff is scrambling around looking for tiny little 16-ounce water bottles to pour on this fucking flame that's all over this dude's fucking foot. It was have you seen that clip, Vet?
Yes.
It is a mess. It is so fucking terrible.
How do you
Fucking
do
idiot.
something like that and not have the proper like shit set up to take care of that?
If you're GCW,
Because you're Joey Janela.
and you will never see that on television, which is why I don't need to put a Joey Janela square in, because much like that, he will never be seen on television again. You will never see Joey Janela on television in a major wrestling company. Even the past year and a half, you didn't see him on AEW television because they figured it out.
They don't just release their wrestlers, Vet. They're nice. They let them work their contracts out, and then they just don't renegotiate a new contract with them, Vet. Vince McMahon
What-
just
what are you
fires
trying-
people.
Well, I mean, that's how
Asshole.
that's how it should be, right? You signed him. This is a prime example of then you shouldn't have said it.
It's true. You shouldn't have signed them.
Yeah, you shouldn't have signed him.
Shouldn't have
So
signed
the least you can do is pay out your contract. It's sort of refreshing to have sports people actually let their whole contract play out. So
Now
So,
he's
yeah.
just preaching at you.
Oh, there he is.
Now he's preaching at you, Buckshot. He came the last few minutes of the show to cut a promo. Moose, can you cut a promo like, or Vet, can you cut a promo like Moose?
no, I can't.
Okay, I wouldn't try.
Moose could be listening, and I don't want to take that as a sign of disrespect.
Look, and the guy that sold that as well. He just he just took a fiery super kick. Of course you're gonna fucking lay there dead as a doornail. So
Yeah, don't you know the fire adds to the impact of the foot on the chin?
chin. Fire damage, Elden Ring, duh. More
Right.
damage if you have fire on it.
Yeah, he took 50 more damage off that super kick.
and damage over time.
Yeah, but it didn't hurt because it didn't hurt as it was only 50 because Joey Janela doesn't have dexterity, so it didn't scale with
Joey immolated himself.
it didn't scale with dex.
Self-immolation. All right. Enough self-immolation talk. Brandon, let everybody know where they can find you.
You find me at all the places at Miss Tia the Transarchist, and also every week, every Monday, right here on the Impact Attack as part of Hami Media Group on Channel Attitude.
Vet's asleep. Vet, wake up. Where can people find you?
You can find me everywhere at Opinion Hammer, all social media platforms. I looked up my TikTok account just to see what was going on with it, and I couldn't sign into it. I must have signed into it through. It must have been like one of those continue through Facebook things, because it didn't. I don't have Facebook anymore, and I couldn't. It said that my phone number wasn't registered and my email wasn't registered and all this other stuff. So it must have been through Facebook. So I'll never be able to log into my TikTok account. But I have one follower. It's John Enright. He followed me on TikTok. So I am there, and you can find me and follow me. I won't be able to see it though, or I won't be checking it. But yeah, everywhere there. And then what else do I got going on? Of course, you can catch me every Wednesday morning on the Next Level Wrestling Review with Big Ray Hernandez, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern, where we talk about NXT and suffer through that. And then, I was on the Smack Attack this past recently. They made their big triumphant return. And both the guys were on it, but they had to split the duties because John had somewhere to go. So I got handed off to Jimmy, and we finished the show. We talked all kinds of stuff about, Stephanie McMahon and Sasha and Naomi and all that. And we talked a little bit about SmackDown too. It was a pretty fun show. So go back and check that out. Channel Attitude if you missed it. That's it for me.
Yeah.
I said that's it for me.
Sorry, I'm reading this
Now,
thing.
Silent Bob.
I think
I said now, Silent Bob.
I think WWE just put a thing out, which this could have been old, but it just came across about, I guess, Matt Riddle. Is Randy taking time off right now?
He wasn't on the last show.
Because I guess Riddle cut a promo saying Randy's been having a really hard time with his back lately. Before our tag team title match, he could barely walk. I knew Randy wouldn't let me down because he knew how much it meant to me, and he knew how much it meant to you. So,
was that on Raw today?
Yeah, I think that was on Raw. And then somebody posted a tweet with like Randy kind of skipping off, so they're like his back must be okay if he's kind of skipping around. It was during the Bianca. I think Bianca came on after that part, and you can see Randy in the TikTok like skipping to the back, like while the WWE officials are kind of holding him up. So he may have some issues. I mean, Randy's been going hard for a long ass time with really no real injuries except for a few surgeries here and there. But
well, he also doesn't do anything, so
Yeah.
he shouldn't be getting hurt.
I mean, that's how you perform. Isn't that the best? You don't use up that bump card, vet.
Yes,
Rip-
I'm not
rip-
I'm not disparaging him by saying that. I'm
That's
just
how
saying
you
I'd be
have a
surprised.
Randy Orton career. Yeah, that's true.
But even guys like Randy Orton who don't do anything at all still eventually get hurt. So, just imagine what all these guys that are getting slammed on the apron are going to feel like in a few years.
God, did you see that? I don't know how long the Jimmy Jacobs bump that's been floating around the internet lately. Jimmy Jacobs took a weird buckle bomb move. They were both on the top ropes, and the guy had him in a power bomb move, like hold, and the guy jumped off the ropes to the outside, like off the turnbuckle to the outside. And as he's coming down, he power bombs the back of Jimmy Jacobs' head into the pad of the third turnbuckle. And like Jimmy you can see Jimmy looking to make sure he hits it right. And he when Jimmy realizes he's going to get the impact, he slams his head back into the buckle, and then he hits the top part of his back on the apron, like you would if you took like the power bomb to the side of the apron kind of thing. Like he hit his top shoulders on the apron and then fell off. It was a very like, what the fuck are you doing type of move. Like, Vet, you'd be really pissed off if I showed you this video right now. It's like, what the fuck?
I'm pissed off listening to it, listening to you describe it.
Just sounds so unnecessary.
Yeah, guys will sit around and apparently they'll just think of things that are physically possible to do. That doesn't mean you should do it. There's a reason that no one ever did it. And I don't really understand the fascination with it. What do they think that's going to happen? Do they think that's going to catapult them to superstardom because they did this one move? Does anybody even know that? Do you even know the name of the guy that did that to Jimmy Jacobs?
I just know. I think it was Jimmy Jacobs.
Does the world at large even know who Jimmy Jacobs is? Of course not. So, the moral of the story is don't do things.
Well, the world at large.
Be like Randy.
The world at large doesn't know who 99.9% of the wrestlers in professional wrestling are.
Even more of a reason. That's why Randy Orton doesn't do shit, because everybody knows who he is, but he still doesn't care.
It's true.
So.
It's true. And the world, you know what's funny though? And we're not going to get on the Sasha Banks topic, but the world wouldn't even probably know her as Sasha Banks because she's not even known as Sasha Banks on any of the Star Wars stuff she does. If people would know her, they would know her as Mercedes. So like even there, you can't even say she's crossover big that much with that. But anyway, well, guys, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram at Colin Wysong. You can find me tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with April Hunter for the A Show. We'll have on CEO of Hear Me Raw, Mike Endersky, good friend of the show, good friend of mine.
is that? Please
What?
explain what is Hear Me Raw.
It is a beauty company that I was good to get. I was about to get into his credentials. Hear Me Raw is a makeup company. He is very passionate. After having worked for Burt's Bees, he was the chief marketing officer when I met him at Burt's Bees, and he helped facilitate the sale to Clorox. So like he took this Burt's Bees, which is basically like a dude who had bees and was living like in a chicken coop. Got with a lady and sold his beeswax to her. She started making like the Burt's Bees lip balm. Clorox came in and bought it. Then Mike, of course, being an executive in the company, probably got a nice package once it got paid out. And he's since then started his own companies. He's actually one of the only few people I know that's won a worldwide marketing award. And he's found, I think, 2 or 3 companies, sold them off, and this is his next beauty company. And he's very, I think you can find him, Mike Endursky, on Instagram. He's got a lot of videos about the stuff that they put in makeup, like the bad chemicals and things like that. Like, hey, you wouldn't eat this stuff. Why are you putting it on your skin type of stuff? Like, and he's fucking awesome. And he does a Slash cosplay that is, oh my God, like the hair, he looks like fucking like a
Slash
skinny,
from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
No, Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Oh.
Slash from Guns N' Roses. Yeah.
All right.
So
Not
we'll have
as
fun with that.
exciting, but
And then, of course, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Big Ray over at the Ridiculously Random Podcast over at twitch.tv/Ridiculously Random Pod, which, let's see.
Ray already preemptively said you wouldn't be on this week.
He already said I wouldn't be on this week.
Yeah.
I put caps on the channel, so apparently you can find it better when you search. Or I guess it looks better, maybe. I don't know if it affects the search. But taking Buckshot Kids. He was on last week. You just missed it. You tell him you were on last week. You came on at the very end of the show. You just came on to say main roster and you left.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't lie to the people. We all saw it. We all saw you there. Oh, maybe we are.
Whatever you saw was doctored.
Maybe maybe we are taking a break. I forgot.
Yeah, he said you were such a Brock Lesnar mark that you got diverticulitis too.
I did.
And he already just took off the show for you. But
if we ever,
I was starting to think that you got diverticulitis from doing the Ridiculously Random Podcast. That's probably what damaged your insides from having to sit there for however long. I told you to cut it off at 6. You didn't listen. You wanted to keep going. Now you're paying the price.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Pigs look exactly always ready.
There's a Z on the end of that. Always with a Z, lab rat. Okay. Get it right.
It's me and podcasting vet. It's
Forces of nature is what I'm talking about here, people. Science.
It's forces of nature. It's science. It's science. How I'm always ready like this, vet. It's crazy. It's crazy.
He attracted the podcast.
Wah, wah, wah. It was always those Mexican treats I bring on the show. Yes, it was, Liz. A spoonful of tamarind a day will bring the diverticulitis all the time.
Will it?
I don't know.
Maybe it's a spoonful of that menudo.
Yeah, probably.
Don't eat intestines for your intestines.
Yeah, I don't eat menudo.
Good.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan. She tried to give me some the other day when I was doing my soup diet. She's like, "You want some menudo?" I was like, "No, I need clear chicken broth, vegetable broth soups." You get that. Get that menudo out of here. Get Ricky Martin. Get Ricky Martin out of here. Get him out of here. We're not living La Vida Loca in this house. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the vet who is living La Vida Loca tonight, and Brandon, who he bangs. Oh, how he moves. For those 2 gentlemen there, this is Colin, and we'll see you next week on channelattitude.com and your Impact Attack. I don't have anything to go home with. That'll be it right there.